Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Shawn was in Cobra Kai Season 5? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 4 would still happen. Cobra Kai would still win the All Valley. Robbie would still go to Johnny in this timeline, and Miguel would still run away. And Terry Silver would still betray Kreese. Terry Silver would open up various Cobra Kai dojos in the valley, and Cobra Kai would grow even more. Shawn would be released from juvie a lot earlier in this timeline, and Kenny would be happy to see Shawn. He would tell him everything that happened in Season 4. Shawn would be happy that Kenny found confidence and stood up for himself. Kenny would continue training at Cobra Kai. Kenny would want to get Shawn to join Cobra Kai, but Shawn wouldn't be interested. But even though Shawn didn't join Cobra Kai, he would still support his brother's dojo, and Kenny would still hang out with the Cobra Kais, including Kyler. Johnny, Miguel, and Robbie would still come back from Mexico, and Cobra Kai and Miyagi Fang would still be at the water park. Kenny would be happy to see Robbie, and he would tell him that Shawn got out. Robbie would be surprised to see Shawn with the Cobra Kais. Kenny would also ask Robbie when he was coming back to the Cobra Kai dojo. This is when Robbie would say that he was going to quit Cobra Kai, and he would want Kenny to do the same. But Kenny would be mad. He would tell Robbie that he wasn't a quitter, so Kenny would walk away. This is when Shawn would go up to Robbie, and he would thank him for helping Kenny. Robbie would want to warn Shawn about Cobra Kai. He would say that Cobra Kai turned him into someone he was not, and he doesn't want Kenny to go down the same path. Shawn would remember Robbie's warning, and the events of Season 5 would carry on. Daniel and Chosen would still want to expose Terry Silver. Daniel would still confront Terry Silver, and they would still fight, but Terry Silver would still defeat him. Johnny would still find out, and he would also want to take down Terry Silver, so Miyagi Fang would reform, and the two dojos would continue their training. Shawn would start to see that Kenny was bullying Anthony, and he would remember what Robbie told him. He would see how much Cobra Kai had changed Kenny, and Kenny would continue getting training from Terry Silver, and Terry Silver would still teach him the silver bullet technique. Cobra Kai and Miyagi Fang would train for the Saikai Taikai, and the night of the match, Shawn would be at the Cobra Kai dojo, cheering Kenny on. Kenny would still be angry to see Robbie with Anthony, and he would still confront him, but Robbie would still tell him the same thing, that maybe him and Anthony would get along if they let go of all the hatred. Shawn would see this, and he would be worried about all the hate in Kenny, and it would still be Kenny and Hawk, but Kenny would still defeat Hawk using the silver bullet, and Shawn would start to see that Kenny was becoming an even bigger bully. Sam would still fight Devin, and she would still defeat her. So both Cobra Kai and Miyagi Fang would qualify for the Saikai Taikai, and the events of Season 5 would carry on. Robbie would still show up at the Cobra Kai dojo, and he would want to convince his students to leave. This would make Kenny mad, and when he gets home, he would tell Shawn what Robbie did, and Shawn would see how much Robbie cared for Kenny, so he would tell Kenny that maybe Robbie was right, but this would make Kenny even more mad. Shawn would tell him that he doesn't want him to end up like he did, but Kenny wouldn't want to listen to Shawn. So Kenny would be mad at Shawn, and Shawn would realize that Robbie was right all along. So Shawn would go visit Robbie, and he would tell him everything that happened, and he would ask Robbie for help to try to get Kenny out of Cobra Kai. So Robbie would inform Shawn of the plan to try to expose Terry Silver and take down Cobra Kai. So Shawn would help the Miyagi Fangs, and they would still break into the Cobra Kai dojo. The Cobra Kai students would show up, and Kenny would feel betrayed seeing Shawn with the Miyagi Fangs, and he would want to fight Shawn, but Shawn wouldn't want to hurt Kenny, and the fights would begin. Kenny would attack Shawn. He would hold his own against Kenny and the rest of the Cobra Kais, even though he wasn't trained. Kenny would be filled with rage, and he would use the silver bullet technique on Shawn, and Shawn would be on the ground trying to recover his breath. Robbie would try to stop Kenny, but much like Shawn, he wouldn't want to hurt Kenny, and he would also use the silver bullet technique on Robbie. Kenny and the Cobra Kais would team up on Robbie and Shawn, but Miguel would still come in and fight off Kenny and the rest of the Cobra Kais. Hawk and Dimitri would still get the clip to expose Terry Silver, and Miyagi Fang would still expose Terry Silver, and much like in the original timeline, Kenny would see that Robbie and Shawn were right. The season would still end the same way. Daniel would still defeat Terry Silver, and he would still be arrested. So Kenny would decide to leave Cobra Kai. Robbie would want to go see if Kenny was okay, but Kenny still wouldn't want anything to do with Robbie. He would need more time to think. Shawn would once again thank Robbie, and Kenny and Shawn would go home. And that is where I'm going to end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Shawn was in Cobra Kai Season 5? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.